fine. We just running around everywhere. Just turn off, please.
How is this supposed to happen until like later?
Am I live? Oh crap.
What?
That's an actual tornado.
Where?
Dog, look at the red thing. Yes, I'm live. Yeah. Okay, never mind. As soon as we leave, new tornado warning. Tornado warning for Cincinnati, Hamilton, and areas. This one is actually pretty concerning itself. Zoom in on the actual area of rotation itself. This is for Forest Park, New Baltimore, Ross, Fairfield. You can see there's actually a pretty strong hook with that info forming in. Let's take a look at the velocity. Yeah, dang. This is the strongest rotational couplet that anybody has ever seen today. So if you're in Cincinnati, take shelter immediately. We have that new severe thunderstorm warning for Lebanon and Mason. This is for 60-mile-an-hour winds. Currently no tornadic potential expected with this one. That can always change. Biggest concern is this one. Look how dark it is outside. A lot more people would be watching this once this storm's come through. I'm crying. Oh my gosh, where's my mouse? What time is it? Yeah, that open house is gonna be rough, dog.
Why?
Storms are gonna be there.
Tornado warning.
Not saying it'll be a tornado warning, but okay, so tornado warning for northern areas of Cincinnati and another one for Lawrenceburg and Harrison, Indiana. There's actually a little overlap right here. Why did my door just open like that? That was creepy. This one, oh, it's the wind.
The window.
Yeah. This one just south of Hamilton. This is the most concerning, one of the most concerning couplets of tornadic potential I've seen today. So you want to be very careful if you're in this red polygon. Not to like trick myself into seeing things, but we might have a little bit of rotation here just north of Mason. Keep an eye on that. There's that rotation down just north of Lawrenceburg, and again this big rotation just south of Fairfield. This tornado warning is most concerning. If you're wondering what this white dashed line is, it's a Y'all Watch issued by Ryan Hall. So he sees what I see, strong tornadic potential with these storms here. And then you have severe thunderstorms themselves approaching Washington Courthouse, Wilmington, Lebanon, Mason. Wilmington's currently not under severe thunderstorm warning. They likely will be soon. Lebanon and Mason for 60-mile-an-hour winds right now. Crying, ain't nobody watching. it's definitely rotating. Some storm chasers on these, so. Alright, Jennifer McMahon got caught a little behind. New flood advisory extends down to Warren County and areas like that.
Tornado warning.
Thank you. Oh. Crying, bro. Okay, I'm gonna keep an eye on this thing right here. See, I tend to see things where I live, and it's like, oh my gosh, that might be a tornado. I'm so excited, but I don't want to do it. Okay. Okay. New severe thunderstorm warning. This is for 70-mile-per-hour winds and tornadoes possible or anywhere in this area. This is from Mason, Loveland, down to Cincinnati and Lawrenceburg. Everyone in this orange polygon that was just issued, that was just flashing, you need to get inside now and get into an interior room of your building because this storm is not joking around. You're going to possibly experience some damage. How the storm's looking around South Lebanon. South Lebanon, you're currently in, let's see, we're here. South Lebanon, you're kind of in between that 70-mile-per-hour and 60-mile-an-hour severe thunderstorm warning. I'm going to be completely honest, storms aren't looking great. You need to make sure you're inside and away from windows because these storms are going to be bringing trees down. Not only weather at the castle, I bet. Probably you saw that this outflow boundary, it's called a shelf cloud, come through earlier, and now most of us are what's called the whale's mouth and the turbulent region of this storm. Tornado warning continues for Fairfield down to Cincinnati, Harrison, and Lawrenceburg. The rotation looks like it's dying down a little bit for this one, just south of Fairfield. But still, respect the polygon. Keep this tornado warning in your minds. If you're in this red area, stay in shelter right now. Or if you're not in it, nearby Cincinnati, get in shelter immediately. Tornado warning has just been extended for Lawrenceburg and areas into very northern Kentucky. This is extended, oh, that's extended pretty far. So this is extended to Independence. Everyone in this red polygon, make sure you are in shelter immediately. These storms aren't joking around. Dang. Pretty gnarly. I'm gonna take a look out my window real quick.
You live streaming?
I am.
Looks nasty out there.
Thanks for barging in on my live stream.
I can't bang your live stream? You know you should have on your live stream, you should have Pouncer.
Right, Pounce? Those clouds are moving so fast, it's not even funny.
So what's the word right now, you think?
2 tornado warnings south of us. Here, you can
How close?
go to YouTube and pull up my live stream, dude.
I ought to pull it up and I can see the real thing.
Okay, I'll tell you right now. Update again. Everywhere in this orange polygon from Mason, Hamilton, Harrison, Lawrenceburg, Cincinnati, this is a 70-mile-an-hour severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag. So anywhere in this area could possibly see a tornado. If you don't, you will be experiencing those strong winds. Just south of Hamilton to Cincinnati, Harrison, Lawrenceburg, and areas south, there are 2 tornado warnings right now. This one over Fairfield looks pretty concerning. It looks like the rotation may be dying off a little bit right now, but respect the polygon. Stay in shelter if you're there. It actually looks like it might be coming together again. Over here, Mason, Lebanon, possibly broad rotation, but I don't want to say anything right now. It's not crazy, so probably no tornado warning will come out of that soon, maybe later. Make sure Mason, Loveland, Batavia, Cincinnati, Lawrenceburg, and areas all the way south. Get inside, stay away from windows, close your windows, lock your doors. 70-mile-per-hour winds are incoming. This is no joke.
Is it being recorded or is it live stream?
It's a live stream.
You sound like Ryan Hall, y'all.
Hannah, can you close the window?
Got it. Why don't you have Pouncer on there with you?
I did at the beginning, but you shut the door so she can't get in.
Oh. Pounce, come here. So you probably missed that green screen though, didn't you?
You know I'm live streaming, right? That means be quiet. Gotta drink of water. Where'd my water go?
Goodness, Francis.
So yeah, I'm becoming increasingly concerned with this tornado warning approaching the Cincinnati metro area. This is strong rotation, but it's broad. So at any moment, this could come together and drop a tornado. These things happen very quickly. Strong inflow notch, you can see this little hook. That opposite hook, which is the inflow. Rare flow downdraft. Very strong winds are about to come through Mason. Strong winds coming through Lebanon right now and Wilmington. Should probably plug in my weather station so I can see how strong these winds are.
Are you still alive?
What?
Are you still alive?
Yes. Aunt Andrea wants an update at her house. I'm crying, bruh. Old people don't know how to work YouTube.
Is that live? Is that a comment live?
Where does Aunt Andrea live? Is she like somewhere down here?
What's that airport down there?
Well, she lives by Old
Luckin.
Park.
What's it like Luckin Airport? I think it's around that area.
I mean, she might be in that tornado warning, but
Maybe you could probably give her exact address. Where'd y'all take senior pictures at? Not senior pictures, pictures for the
Alt Park.
Park, yeah.
Is this a bad time to say I have a fear of storms? Well, you'll probably be fine. So don't worry about it. Still watching that rotation over Cincinnati very closely. This could produce a tornado. Still broad as of now. Some rumbles of thunder. So 70-mile-an-hour winds with this portion of the storm. Expect 60-mile-an-hour winds from here. So this is what's called a considerable damage threat, severe thunderstorm. You'll likely see a lot of trees down in this area. I think that's some report. Trees, widespread tree damage everywhere, but possibly some roof and shingle damage and some larger tree damage in this warning itself right here. Is it raining yet? A minute.
How long is this supposed to last for?
It'll last for a good minute.
Those lights hot.
Yes. See, it almost looks like, it almost has the shape of an embedded supercell, which is interesting. Yeah, downtown Cincinnati, Norwood, Cheviot, Reading, Forest Park. Beach Shelter. I doubt I have anybody watching from there, but hey. Just in case.
Storm chasers out there?
There are, but I can't show their feed if that's copyright. So that tornado warning for Lawrenceburg as well in the area south of that. That rotation looks a little bit less significant, but respect to Polygon, get shelter. Cincinnati 1 is of my most concern right now. That one looks the worst. I don't know why the wind particles are doing this crazy spinning thing there, but that's not a tornado. Don't worry about that. New severe thunder.
It's raining.
New severe thunderstorm for Wilmington, Ohio. Basing by the Kellerman, I believe this is 60-mile-an-hour. Yes.
I heard a report that it's raining outside right now.
Okay, there's now a tornado warning for the entirety of the Cincinnati metro area. So if you're anywhere in Cincinnati, you need to be in shelter because this storm is capable of producing a tornado. It has a pretty strong rotation since it was up here in Hamilton and coming down. Looks a little bit weaker right now, but it still has the possibility of producing a tornado. Right here, back in Kings Mills, Ohio, we're getting some strong wind speeds. I'd estimate around 30 miles an hour. My wind speed.
Tornado warning.
Thanks. Does that really late? You'd think they would do it sooner, in case of like an emergency, but new tornado warning. So yeah, entirety of Cincinnati, Independence, Kentucky, CVG, airs Batavia, get shelter right now.
Mail out here.
What?
Mail is in the hallway.
No, it's not time for a break. Shut up, YouTube. I'm a minute behind my stream. Okay, I want to read this warning out for us because I wanted to, but then we got that darn tornado warning. 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Severe thunderstorms are located along a line extending from near 7 Mile to near On Good, moving southeast at 45 miles an hour. Expect considerable tree damage. Damage is likely to mobile homes, roof, and outbuildings. Remain alert for a possible tornado. Tornadoes can develop quickly from severe thunderstorms. If you spot a tornado, go to the basement. I just pressed the wrong thing. Dang. 55-mile-an-hour wind gust. I just recorded. So, it's pretty crazy. Dang. Yeah, so we're already approaching the wind speeds of a severe thunderstorm. That's 58 miles an hour and above. My weather station just recorded a 58-mile-an-hour wind gust up here between Mason and Loveland. There's going to be areas, pockets of 70-mile-an-hour winds down here, especially in the Cincinnati metro, where that tornado warning is in effect for this area of rotation. The rotation has died down, a lot broader rotation now, but anywhere along this line could bring up a spin-up tornado. So that's why this tornado warning is continuing, especially down here for Lawrence. Lights just flickered. Oh, especially down here for Lawrenceburg. Oh. Okay, there's the possibility that I'm about to lose power. If we do, I'll probably live stream on my phone instead of on Instagram. I hope I don't lose power so I can keep you guys updated, but that is entirely a possibility. Our power network over here is not great. Jeez. Yeah. This is pretty gnarly. Holy crap. Jeez. Yeah, strong winds happening everywhere along this line. Make sure you are inside. Looks like in my neck of the woods, you might be getting some hail soon. This hook looks like it's coming back.
Tornado warning.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know where that's for. We'll see that pop up. But this rotation just north of Cincinnati is coming back together. So if you are in Cincinnati, you need to be in shelter right now. The entirety of Cincinnati, Central Metro area. This is the worst area right now for storms in the country, Cincinnati, this area. I think I'm actually going to go ahead right now and report that 55-mile-an-hour wind gust. Forgot my username. Jeez. Yep, that's hail. logging the spotter network, dog. I'm crying. Okay, I guess I'm just not gonna report it. It's not letting me. It's unfortunate. Big Blue says it's pouring in Lebanon right now. I bet it is. It's pouring everywhere right now. Take a look at this rotation over Cincinnati. So the rotation is, as of now, right now, going over the Cincinnati metro area. Right here, probably the peak of the rotation is right here by South Fairmont, in between Fairmont and Cincinnati. So if you're in Cincinnati, Covington, Villa Hills, Fort Thomas, Coldstream, Newtown, get in shelter right now. If you are in Lawrenceburg and areas south, there's actually a stronger little bit of rotation right here, just east of Hartford. If you're in Rising Sun, Commissionary Corner, Bellevue, get in shelter especially, but if you're anywhere in this red, you need to be in shelter right now. If you're anywhere in any of these oranges, you need to be inside and away from windows. I say as we are near windows. Back in this area, do you think if it rains as bad, practice would get canceled? Depends what sport. But if you practice on the fields, it's gonna get canceled. If you have an outside practice, it's not happening. Okay, looks like we dodged a bullet with power outages. I think we're gonna be okay. That would be cool if we lost power though. You always say that, and then what you do, you're like, dang it, I wish I didn't. Interesting, this outflow boundary is now catching back up with these storms. Or per se, the storms are catching back up with the outflow boundary. Okay, that tornado warning has just been reissued for areas in Independence. Let's take a look at what velocity couplet they're talking about. Let's see. It's probably for this velocity couplet right here, but if so, I don't know why they didn't extend it that far. But it's probably this one right here where that red and green meet right there. It's probably where they're expecting that tornado right now. Zoom back in Cincinnati Metro. Still that rotation. Make sure you are in shelter. Your power's out?
Yeah.
Who are you calling?
Eva.
Nice.
Eva? What? Okay.
There's a 53-mile-an-hour gust recorded in Fairfield. Over here, I recorded a 55-mile-an-hour wind gust, so these storms are definitely severe.
I'm at Kingston House.
Band practice. From my experience, band practice never gets canceled from the weather. That's what sucks of me being a weather nerd and doing band. Tornado warning for Cincinnati has just been reissued for Cincinnati Independence, so they still think this storm could be producing a tornado, and I agree. Okay, I'm going to do a little early call out right here. Owensville, Monterey, Newensville, Mulberry, Forestburg, Marathon, areas south of Pleasant Plain and Blanchester. I'm expecting a tornado warning soon. You get areas by Goshen and areas just east of Goshen expect a tornado warning soon. You can see a little bit of a hook forming with that inflow, and actually, if I pull up the radar products, there is a velocity couplet forming. So likely a tornado warning will be issued for this area soon. Crazy, that literally went over us here. So yeah, well, already if you're in Goshen, areas north of Batavia, or anywhere in this area approaching Fayetteville, you should be in shelter right now. What? I don't know if the National Weather Service will issue a tornado warning, but if I was them, I would. especially because this is likely going to be a spin up. What happens is you get this boundary, which is also this boundary is also that shelf cloud. When these kind of meet up with the storms, they can form an air rotation and drop a tornado really quickly. Josh Sharp, thanks for telling me. Oh my gosh. Thanks for letting me know that I'm quiet. Can you turn up the slider? That's the second one. More. Okay, I hope this sounds better. Thanks for joining in, Josh. Thanks for letting me know I'm quiet. It's very helpful. If I close the door, that might help too. Tornado warning continues for Cincinnati and Independence, Kentucky. In areas anywhere in this red, if you're in this red, make sure you're in shelter. I'm calling out this one just south of Loveland, this area right here, a little bit of rotation here. Even if there's not a tornado warning, I think if you're in Goshen to Fayetteville, area south of Blanchester, I think you should get in shelter as well. Hi, vegetable, and thank you, Josh. Appreciate it. Strong storms evident. Anywhere from my arm this way, this storm is warned for 70-mile-an-hour winds and possible tornadoes, which makes sense. You have these tornado warnings. And everywhere from Mason and Blanchester, northeast is warned for 60-mile-an-hour winds. It's taking away my radar data. There we go. Is warned for 60-mile-an-hour winds. No large tornadic threat expected with any of these storms, but there is a tornadic threat with storms from Loveland south. Yeah, I don't know if they're going to issue a tornado warning for this. I really do believe they should. It's a very small tornadic signature, but for Newtonsville, Goshen, Monterey, and Morrisburg, approaching Fayetteville, this could be dropping a tornado very soon, or have already dropped a tornado. So I would be extremely prepared for that if it does end up happening. Because again, there's a little bit of a break here. When you have these breaks, the southern tip of these lines of storms is where you can expect those tornadoes. And because this outflow boundary is interjecting, is that a word? With this southern area, that can kind of increase the rotation for a little bit as it stays co-located. So this is my area of concern right now. Cincinnati, still in that tornado warning, so definitely stay in shelter there. Turn to velocity. The rotation is died down for now, but we can actually take a look at. My football hasn't been canceled. It might not. Oof. Wonder when your football is. Yeah, football's crazy. So actually right here, we're taking a look at the airport terminal radar. This is a lot of a shorter range. A little bit of radar technology here. The wavelength of the light particles that the wavelength of radiation that this radar this radar shoots out is a shorter, smaller wavelength than one of the radar in Wilmington. So we're going to have a little bit of a higher detail, but shorter range. Very, very strong winds coming through Cincinnati right now. This is probably in that area of 60 to 70-mile-an-hour winds coming through Cincinnati. It's also where that tornado warning is. There's no very obvious areas of rotation in this area, but there is that tornado warning. Respect it, get in shelter. Down here, there's a little bit of rotation here just east of Independence, and those very strong 60, 70-mile-an-hour winds coming through Cincinnati Airport. Trying to periodically check the chat. There is a new severe thunderstorm warning. It's for this 60-mile-an-hour winds and possible tornadoes. Still one lagging behind a little bit for Mason, Lebanon area, but for everywhere behind Hamilton, Fairfield, Mason, we're fine for now. I do want to check because there could be, yeah, okay. There is another round of storms too. Probably later tonight. So, I love the weather, so obviously I want to see these storms. Not that I'm hoping for them, but this is not the final event. We had a round of storms this morning that brought some storms. We have special weather statement, so no very severe thing. But we did have a tornado warning for Columbus and some strong storms for Dayton and Columbus this morning. Now we're getting the strong line of storms from Cincinnati. Cincinnati's getting the brunt of it now. And then later tonight we will have another round of storms that will possibly bring some more severe weather. Look at that. I called that. Not to bust my own bubble, but I'm so good at this. Okay, if you're in...
Tornado warning.
Oh my gosh. You know what? I'm going to leave it playing just because...
Tornado warning.
Now I'll turn it off. If you're in Fayetteville, Mount Orab, or Batavia, you need to be in shelter right now. Geez, I've made a lot of things. I called this out about 5 minutes ago. There is that little bit of rotation right here. It looks like it might... They might be a little late to this tornado warning, but there is a little bit of rotation approaching Owensville, a little bit of rotation right here in this area, and that's why there could possibly be 2 areas of rotation in this area right now. So Batavia, Owensville, Fayetteville, Mount Orab, get in shelter right now. Yes, this one's coming together just north of Owensville, and there's rotation over Owensville. Two spots of rotation right now, and you can see there's actually 2 little hooks. You can see right here are those 2 little hooks. You look for those hooks. These are tornadic storms, so you need to be in shelter immediately. Back it up, Terry. I would love to go storm chasing, but the orientation is soon. Pretty crazy, because this tornadic storm literally went over Mason and Loveland. So that could have produced it earlier, and we would have had a tornado warning ourselves up here. But that didn't happen, so can you make it sunny, please? I'll try my best. So I think the most concerning warning right now is this tornado warning for in between Batavia and Blanchester for Fayetteville. Cincinnati is no longer in a tornado warning, but you are still in severe thunderstorm warning, so stay inside. Independence, you are still in actually 2 tornado warnings, so make sure you're inside.
Where's the one? He was at her brother at King's Auto.
Where's King's Auto Mall?
71 South.
I think he's fine.
He shouldn't be home.
I mean, he doesn't work around Newtonsville, right?
He doesn't work around Newtonsville, does he? No.
Yeah, it's fine. Okay, so this area of rotation by Newtonsville and Monterey is actually getting its act together, and there's another one down here by Owensville. So 2 areas of rotation, one approaching Williamsburg and one approaching Monterey Marathon. Yes, this one is coming together very well. Yes. Okay. I'm not entirely surprised right now. This might actually be currently producing a tornado. So if you are in Monterey, Marathon, Greenbush, Williamsburg, or Fayetteville, you need to be in shelter right now because this could possibly be producing an actual tornado.
You think it's dangerous for her to drive to the orientation there?
No.
It's just heavy rain.
Nice. Easton Burge said my house got destroyed by the tornado, and CJ said my roof just got blown off. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I was stuck in my car and my dad had to come save me.
So if you're in Monterey, there's possibly a tornado going through Monterey right now.
No, they ain't writing nothing.
Tornado warning has just been extended for Williamstown, Falmouth, Citadin, and Sherman. For this area of rotation right here, and for this area of rotation right here. So again, 2 areas of rotation if you're anywhere in this area, up to Independence and New Richmond. Make sure you're in shelter. Another area of rotation is actually coming back together. Kind of fell apart over Cincinnati, but it's coming back together now. Be careful there.
So yeah, how was that?
Okay, based off of how this signature looks and how storms work in a linear system, correlation coefficient is a lot harder to determine if a tornado is actually being produced. So as of now, I'm going to make the call right now. There's currently a tornado on the ground just east of Owensville and south of Fayetteville. in 2 areas of rotation. This one just east of Owensville. This one is of utmost concern. There's another one down here just east of Batavia, but this one is kind of cut off from its parent storm, so this one's likely, it's still tornadic, but it's likely not going to produce a tornado. This one right here is likely producing a tornado as we speak. So anywhere in this red polygon, especially if you're in Owensville and Mount Orab and Fayetteville, you need to be in shelter.
Oh yeah. Does it pretty dark?
People keep texting me, asking me what's going on. Not like I'm live or anything.
What? Yeah.
Going back down to these tornado warnings. Let's see, what's the closest radar? Yep, literally this radar. It's not a radar dead zone, but in these areas, the radar goes, as the further away you get from the radar, the further up the beam is going. So the higher up in the storm you're seeing. That's why the doesn't look as good as data here, but there is still area of rotation right here heading towards Crittenden, and an area of rotation just east of New Richmond, probably about right here. Do I want to know what's happening in the chat?
I don't know.
So yeah, multiple areas of rotation. Yeah, but Scotty already barged in here and talked anyway, so who cares?
Aunt Andrea's power's out. Is she good?
Does she live near Batavia or Owensville? West? East?
She's in the city of Cincinnati.
She's fine. Fayetteville has a tornado warning right now. And that's my cat. Multiple areas of rotation over this tornado warning. That's why it's a pretty large tornado warning. If I were to point them out, one here, one little one right there, another one over Fayetteville. It's possible 4 areas of rotation in that one tornado warning. This one has been extended down here. New Richmond and Independence, this tornado warning has been extended for this area of rotation right here. Falmouth, Butler, Chilo, and Brooksville, make sure you are in shelter. And this one for Crittenden, Walton, and Williamstown is continuing. Looks like we could get a stronger area of rotation coming together over Mount Orab. If I were to say, I don't think there's if there was a tornado on the ground, I believe there's no longer a tornado on the ground, but we do have to be very careful because right here it looks like there could be one forming again. Actually, let's take a look at reflectivity and see if there's a hook. Yes, look at that. Pretty strong hook again. Again, it's really hard to make call out saying, is a tornado actually on the ground? But with what I'm seeing, with how strong this hook is, and other reflectivity and velocity products I've seen with the tornado that actually hit us here in Kings Mills, its rotation was a lot less than this. So I'm going to say, again, go out on a limb, another tornado is on the ground heading towards Mount Orab. So if you're in Mount Orab or any area around that, make sure you're in shelter. Holy crap, there's 19 people watching.
I know.
Son, I'm crying. And it just went up to 24. Well, I appreciate everybody for watching. Thank you so much. I'm crying. Most of the people watching, I'm assuming, are in Warren County. Everybody in Warren County and areas north and west, we are okay now. No more storms, just some rain. There will be a second round of storms coming later tonight, but as of now, the current threat of severe storms is over. The biggest threat right now is this tornado heading towards Mount Orab. How did we genuinely go from 24 viewers to 7? Tyler Munson, Loki, just put his address in the chat. And that's his house. Okay. Tyler Munson, you're fine. Oh. Nice. Josh just casted a hedge of protection. So yeah, if you live near, because everybody watching, I'm assuming, lives near Kings Mills, you guys are all okay. No, there's no longer any severe thunderstorm warning, especially no tornado warnings at all. This is all southwest of us. Yeah. This is a pretty concerning area of rotation, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not too excited. Okay, this is why storms are so cool. There's 3 areas of rotation in this storm currently. There's one that's actually in this hook right here by Fayetteville. There's this stronger one down here heading towards Mount Orab, and there's this one down here by East Park Wildlife Area. I'm trying to read really far away. Looking at the actual velocity, it's harder to see the one up here. A little bit of rotation, but this is more shown on just reflectivity. Down here is the most concerning, is when we actually have a pretty good rotation here. This is sprinting pretty good, and there's another one down here that's also pretty tight. So there's probably maybe 1, maybe 2 tornadoes going on right now. Right now, these are not confirmed or anything, but you need to be very careful and especially need to be in shelter. If you are in Mount Orab, Fayetteville, Hollywood, and Sardina, these are not messing around. Are the storms coming tonight going to be as bad as they are right now? They can be. There's a lot of storm fuel in the atmosphere, and it's probably going to have. Let's see. Here, the storms are along a line here, so they're going to have 2, 3, maybe 4 hours for our atmosphere to regenerate if there is sunlight after, which looks like there might be because there's no rain here. So if that does happen, the storms, if we see any sunlight from now to the next set of storms, the storms are going to be worse. Who's laughing? What's she laughing about?
Because she's bold.
Yeah, I don't like what I'm seeing by Eastwood heading to Mount Orab. This is some pretty strong rotation. It's not extremely tight rotation, but it is really strong, broad rotation. I'd probably put this in extremely broad and medium. Now if this gets to, no, that's wrong. Extremely strong and medium. If this gets to extremely strong and tight, that's a problem. You can see it's really coming together. Sardina, Mount Orab, you need to be in shelter. I don't know if anybody's watching from there, but this is getting pretty concerning. Up here for Buford, just see. Just south and southwest of Chasetown and Fayetteville, this area of rotation is also coming together. We might see a tornado from that soon.
That's where your lake house?
It's past. Our lake house did have a tornado warning.
Got a tree fell on a semi in 71 South.
Not surprised. I think there was just a tornado just southwest of Goshen. Did you see the bolt? How close was it? Where's right there?
Who's the stream that does? Who's the y'all squad driving around? You know any of those people?
It's Ryan Hall.
I don't know, but like it's people working for them. Isn't it?
Yeah, they're in Ohio.
I know what I'm saying. That's one of the what happened on downstairs.
Oh yeah.
One of the streams is the y'all squad driving around. That's not a group of Cincinnati people.
No, it's his people.
Oh, gotcha.
So yeah, the most concerning storm right now, in my opinion, is the one through Eastwood, Chasetown, and Buford.
What, pal? You scared?
Even if this isn't producing a tornado, we do have very strong winds coming through these areas as well. So you should be in shelter no matter what. Now that tone I just got, is that okay? Tornado warning has been extended for Falmouth and Williamstown for these areas of rotation. Hi, Jack Dunkelman. Is it more dangerous to be in storms if your skin is made almost entirely of keratin? Not sure. Is keratin affecting your nails? Search it up so I don't look like a fool online. Oh yeah, okay. Further guess, there's probably another tornado just south of Hollandstown. This tornado warning has just been reissued and re-extended as I'm speaking. It's also been allowed to widen. So if you're in Hollandstown, Mount Orab, Sardina, you need to be in shelter right now. Strong winds approaching that 60, 70 mile an hour range, and multiple areas of rotation with possible tornadoes coming too. These can happen really quickly. What?
The top fiber is structural times.
Okay. If your skin is made almost entirely of keratin, it won't make a difference if you get struck by lightning if you're normal or made of keratin, because both of them are, they're similar in cell structure. Now, if your body was made entirely of like a metal alloy, then that would be unfortunate. Payne Clark says, Casey, save us. I wish, well, it's already past us. We're going to have another round of storms. Take a look at some of these other tornado warnings real quick. This one for Butler, Chilo, and Falmouth, and the one for Crittenden, Fitchburg, and Williamstown. What? A little bit of rotation here. But again, I mean, actually, wait. While I have time, let's take a look at the airport radar. This will show us a lot better that rotation. Right here, approaching Williamstown, right here, is where that area of rotation for this tornado warning is, but anywhere along this line could have spin up really quickly. And for Butler, this area of rotation right here, same thing, any area along that could happen. Just got a flash flood warning for all of these areas. This is Warren County. I really need to learn these counties. I know Butler, no,
There's Hamilton.
but I need
There's
to learn
Montgomery.
these. But for these counties right here, approaching Wilmington, flash flood warning because of this extended amount of rain. Alphen section leader has arrived, and a crap ton of exclamation points. I don't know who bro's talking about. Yeah, I don't like the look of these storms. Okay, yeah, that's really tight. Okay, this rotation right here just south of Howlandstown, again, with these type of storms, these linear segments, Boeing segments, and these tornadoes, it is extremely hard to tell when the tornado is on the ground versus when it's just rotation, because correlation coefficient can't see it as well because all these tornadoes are really small and very heavily rain wrapped. So I'm trying to do this completely based on, it's like if you lost one of your senses. Like that sounds weird, but basically I'm looking at this. If this is sight, I just lost my sense of hearing. But I'm going to assume, I'm not going to assume, I'm going to go on a limb right now and say there's a tornado currently on the ground just south of Hollisville and Sardina. So if you're in this area, you need to be in shelter right now. This one just south of Mount Orab, this rotation is much broader, but also very strong. So 2 areas of rotation right now, yes, that is on the ground, and this one will likely be on the ground soon, so make sure you are in shelter. The tornado warning has just been extended to Winchester. Not surprised at all. Winchester, Russellville, West Union, Maysville, and Peebles. 2 areas of rotation, but they are shifting all the time. There's been 2, there's been 4, there's been 3. So anywhere in this, you need to get in shelter immediately. It's crazy. This storm just became so tornadic out of nowhere. Especially that right there. I mean, these radar signatures are, especially this one right here, are very similar to what we saw when the tornado went over my house last year or 2 years ago. You should probably know that. It's okay. Yeah, I think that's on the ground. If I were to make an educated guess, is Lil Plum still alive? Who's that? The storms are storming, yes they are. New severe thunderstorm warning. That is a large one. 60-mile-an-hour winds and tornadoes possible with this, especially with this storm that I've been really hyper-focused on right here. Actually, I want to take a little sample of the winds here because these look really strong. Whew. Okay, Jesus. Okay, this is happening very high up in the atmosphere, but the radar readings for this actually should be smart and use storm relative velocity. Okay, so we're looking at possibly 70-mile-an-hour winds in these 2 hot spots right there. mean, it really does almost look like an embedded supercell, and I think this does have a lot to do with the fact that it is really interacting with this outflow boundary that was produced by earlier storms. And it just left. Okay. Somebody just spammed a bunch of emojis. I'm crying. Yeah, I really don't like how this one looks. Sardina, I'm gonna keep saying this because it's embarrassing if I'm talking to nobody, but I'm sure there's nobody watching in Sardina right now, but just in case, that's a tornado, if I've ever seen one. That's very likely a tornado on the ground as I'm speaking. Strong rotation down here. This one is broad though. This one is not broad. Actually, let's zoom in. If you have pixels touching other pixels, that's when it gets rough. So we have very close right here. It's about 1, 2, 4, 5, maybe 6 or 7 pixels between strongest areas of rotation. Actually, if I shift to storm relative velocity, you can see, yeah, probably about 5 pixels between those. So still a little bit broader, but it at any moment can get its act back together. Let's take a look. Let's go to composite. Nope, that's show you guys these other rounds of storms. So we have the storms. Go this way. Storms coming through Cincinnati right now in area southwest, just past us here in Warren County. Okay, whatever. There's an area, a large dry slot. No rain. If we do get some sunlight, a break in clouds that'll recharge the atmosphere, and then we have another round of storms that'll come through later tonight from Danville, Lebanon, Noblesville, and Monkey. I'm going to take a look back at outlooks and see what the outlook still says. Okay, looking at the outlooks, we'll go back to tornado warnings. We are still under an enhanced risk of severe weather from Dane, Cincinnati, all the way up to Greensburg, Madison, and down south. If I had to guess, that's still probably tornado risk is still at a 2%, but that wind risk is at that 30% hatched for those very strong damaging winds. I'm not entirely sure if that second round of severe storms will do the same, but okay, these winds in this storm, they're cranking. Not gonna lie. It's getting a little nuts. Like if I go to just the velocity, it's saying that there's 100-mile-an-hour winds in the storm. If I go to storm relative velocity, it says there's 80-mile-an-hour storm, 80-mile-an-hour winds. See, I trust the National Weather Service. They're staying with that 60-mile-an-hour tag until we get any kind of reports or anything going through. We're going to stick with that 60-mile-an-hour. But I would not be surprised if there were some 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts in this storm. Very, very large hooks with these storms. From Hollowtown, go around here over Sardina to here. This is called a hook. With that inflow, you really don't see a hook this well defined and this large in a linear MCS like this. And there's another one down here too. This one I think currently has the biggest tornado threat because see this outflow boundary along here. It's going straight into that hook and feeding it. Oh my gosh. Okay, I think that might be a tornado on the ground. This more tornado warnings down over here. We'll go back to the airport radar and look here. Go to velocity. Moving down south here. So Williamstown, there's an area of rotation right here, and more tornado warnings over here by Falmouth. Some rotation up there. Those storms are moving pretty fast. Yeah, I don't like what I'm seeing here. Why am I so good at this? I'm just kidding. So yeah, if you see right here, thanks to Ryan Hall and his team, they're pointing out there was a tornado that went through this area just south of Hollowtown, like I thought. Bruh. Grammar kind of goes out the window when you're live streaming. I mean, this has a very similar shape to what you'd call an embedded supercell. It might be, because there's a hail core right here, probably some maybe inch hail just south of Hollowtown, and then that actual tornadic part to the south. Jeez. This isn't the type of tornadoes anybody expected today. There's a new severe thunderstorm warning. Let's see what. New severe thunderstorm warning for Hillsborough for 60-mile-an-hour winds. Down here continues. I'm surprised they're not upgrading. It might be just because they already have the tornado warning in place, but if they didn't have a tornado warning in place, they probably would upgrade this for 70, 80-mile-an-hour winds. And when I mean they, I mean the National Weather Service. What I'm switching through right now, this is just velocity in total. And then if you subtract out the storm motion, you get this, which is storm relative velocity. So this can be a little bit more helpful for seeing those areas of rotation. And also more accurate for wind speeds you experience in a severe thunderstorm. Areas of rotation all along this line. I can't say as confidently now that this is currently producing a tornado. The rotation doesn't look as tight. It's very strong. I mean, these wind values right here are extremely high. Again, we're looking up high in the atmosphere, but just for fun, this is saying, jeez. The radar is finding winds thousands of feet up in the atmosphere, just east of Sardinia, around 104 miles an hour. Go to storm relative, it drops them down to probably about that 80, 90 mile an hour mark. So 70 mile an hour winds, I think, are definitely coming out of this storm. Not sure if this is going to stay tornadic for much longer. It's kind of looking messier. That outflow boundary is still feeding into it, but it's also, once you get that hook, that kind of starts bowing out at the bottom. From what I've seen in past years, that kind of diminishes the tornado threat. It can still produce, though, so we'll keep an eye on that. What time is it? It's 4:16.
Yeah, I think I get to school at 4:50.
We could probably end the stream by then. Or do you want to... It's just the type of thing, like, you want to get your shot at the end or get your shot and then go around?
Get my shot first. Actually, I'm gonna go home and grab something and then I'll come back. Do you want to come with me?
Where are you going?
Upstairs? I had to go to my house and grab something. I'll come back.
Go grab something from where?
My house.
Oh. Do I want to come with you?
Downstairs.
Oh. You got it. My parents love you. It's fun.
Sure, we'll go.
Oh my gosh. I mean, regardless if there's a tornado in the storm or not, everybody here needs to treat it like one. It is. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen radar wind values this high. Up here is the Keller table. Right here is in this gray is about 0 miles an hour, and I think it goes to like 120 miles an hour at the very end of the Keller table. If I go back a scan, and just see what that. 111 miles an hour. It might not be what's reaching the ground. Some of it could be. We don't know. Okay, it's got a new tornado warning for Ripley and Maysville. I think Maysville is in Kentucky, but Ripley is in Ohio. It's along the river. It's hard to know. It's for this area of rotation right here between Russellsville and Georgetown, just south of those. Right here, area of rotation, but also very strong winds coming with this too. Oh, that tornado warning goes down real far. That goes all the way down to Tollsboro, Nashtown, Crum, and Harris, Kentucky. Again, Fincastle, very, very strong winds. Treat this as if it is a tornado, even if there is currently no tornado on the ground. Signs point to a tornado. Here's the I'll go through the checklist. Hook echo, clear inflow, clear outflow, velocity couplet. It's not as tight, but it's there. The last thing would be correlation coefficient, looking for a debris ball. It's not there right now, but still very strong storm. Treat it as if it is producing a tornado. Do you know how far down? Can you see what's happening? Maybe there's like a fire. Or like lightning. That's fine. Goodbye. Making some phone calls. Okay. Again, there's probably nobody watching this from this area, but hey, better be safe than sorry. It's already technically in the tornado warning, but it's also kind of trending outside the tornado warning. Another area of rotation is popping up just north of Mayhill by Sinking Spring. You can see the hook right here south of Marshall. Velocity couplet is kind of there, kind of not there, but there is hook rotation right there. Talked about that S shape in the velocity earlier. Kind of getting that there, but mainly the hook is the biggest identifying factor with this rotation. Go down a little bit south to just south of Winchester. I think the tornadic threat is, I don't want to say it's too much, but I think it's diminishing specifically for the area of Winchester. I think this is becoming more of a damaging wind event than a tornado. But still treat this as if it can produce a tornado, because it really can produce a tornado. Just because the velocity doesn't look as much tornadic right now doesn't mean in the next two scans it won't. It could flare back up very soon. Another tornado warning for Maysville, heading towards Ripley and Red Oak. And more tornado warnings for Cynthia, Falmouth, and Williamstown. A lot of tornado warnings over here. Another tornado warning all the way up there in Illinois, but it's okay. Don't think anybody from around here is watching. Okay, so the storms have really officially moved out of what I call my coverage area, which is kind of southwestern Ohio, southeastern Indiana, and very northern Kentucky. It's still kind of in these areas as it approaches Lexington and places like that. But otherwise, I think I'm going to end the stream because there's 4 people watching, and I doubt any of them are from any of these areas. I'm going to end the stream so I can chill before I go to orientation. So thank you so much for watching. If you're still here, very glad you could have joined me, and I will likely be live later tonight when the third round comes through. Thanks for watching.